Hello, my name is Yvonne from the German Projector for Sewing Facebook group. In my videos I explain to you the programs Inkscape and Affinity Designer. I would be happy about a thumbs up. Feel free to subscribe to my channel to not miss any new videos. You are a designer and need support or help to convert your files, feel free to send me a message via the website below. In this video I show you how to add the seam allowance with Affinity Designer version 2. If you have any questions or suggestions, feel free to write me in the comments. Important: the lines have to be joined as one object first. Please have a look at my video connecting lines. First, you should decide if you want to have the seam allowance on the same layer or on an extra layer. If you decide to use the extra layer, first duplicate your layer, then hide all layers without seam allowance and rename the other ones with +SA, for example. Then hide the labels layer. Now select all objects with Ctrl and A and choose the contour tool. A new bar appears where you can enter your desired seam allowance, for example 1 cm, confirm with enter or return. At the contour type you can choose if the curves should be round or square. At the contour fill you usually have to press the third button to set a contour only on the outside, but sometimes the inner contour is needed. It depends on the pattern piece. In the end, you have to press the button Bake Appearance. If you don't want to do this in an extra layer, select all objects, duplicate them and add the contour. It is important that you do not lose the selection during these steps, otherwise you would have to either go back through all the steps or select all the pattern pieces again individually. No seam allowance is needed for the unfold lines, so we'll move these lines here. We could also delete them, which is usually more time consuming because we still have to set new knots. To move, we mark these knots here, and the best way to do this is to move the line to the unfold line using the keyboard keys. With the mouse, we can easily move the line in height, which is not desired. Sometimes some strange lines appears here. These come from the fact that in the baseline perhaps knots have overlapped and the program could not process these correctly. To edit these, the knots must be marked and removed individually. If you can't access these knots, you probably didn't press the Bake Appearance button when insert the contour. If you want to add a hem length that is wider than the seam allowance, draw a rectangle and enter the desired hem height, for example 3 cm. Then place the rectangle at the seam line, mark the knots of the seam allowance line and move them to the lower end of the rectangle. It is best to hide the other layers for this. Then move the rectangle to the next seam line and so on. If all seam lines on the hem are on top of each other, you can also select and move all knots of all lines at the same time. If you have dividing lines, you can also add seam allowance here. If it is a simple line, a counter line is created directly around it. With the pocket opening, it is sometimes a bit more difficult because here you need an outside and an inside curved line. It is best to do this in 2 steps. First, you copy the pocket opening once, then you set the seam allowance as usual, and now you have the lower contour line. Then copy the pocket opening again and add -1 cm seam allowance. Now it sets the inner seam allowance. In this case, with the inner seam allowance, it added us the right seam allowance around the pocket opening. You have to try it which way is the best for you. For the seam allowance line, I often use another structure so that you can see at a glance what is the seam line and what is the seam allowance. But of course, that's up to you. We are at the end of this video. I hope it was helpful to you. You can find more videos about Affinity Designer on my channel. Feel free to leave me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I wish you good luck with your project. See you soon. Bye bye.